Fellas, say goodbye to Chuck Sherman the boy. I am now a man. I highly recommend you join the club. We are doing the wild thing all night.
Acid house music.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Sherm.
Sherman, I cook all this food. Is that all you gonna eat?
General Sherman realized and understood the importance of house music.
So, do you know anything about techno?
No.
Listen.
Yo, what's good, everyone, and welcome back to another brand new episode of Sherm in the Booth. I'm, of course, your host, Sherm. Today is Wednesday, August 18th, 2021, and this is episode 174, and I hope you're ready for an amazing interview. Episode 174 features a young Ohio stallion, MUUS. MUUS just recently moved to Chi-Town, and I am so glad we got to do this interview in person. We podcasted, baby. In episode 174, we got it all in, and we started by talking about his early inspirations and influences. MUUS was born and raised in Ohio and has always had a natural talent and ear for music. Crazy enough, he didn't get into electronic music until he went to college at University of Cincinnati, but he quickly fell in love with the energy it created. He hunkered down during 2020 and graduated with flying colors from University and released his first track in 2020. The rest is history. Now, of course, he ran through the MUUS Discography. In the last 2 years, MUUS has gone from nothing to something and has made his name known in the house music world in a very short period of time. With tracks like 1-2 on Sid's Night Service Only, Focus on Sonny Fodera's Solotoko, and 2 special collabs with alltalk called Connection on MUUS Techne and Dangerous on Get Twisted. It's no surprise that his unique take on production has catapulted him to success. I mean, straight up, he makes fire tracks. I also really enjoy talking about his production style. Although he's young in the game, MUUS has put his fair share of hours in the studio. We talked about high-level perspectives like how he comes up with new ideas and granular examples on how he layers low-end frequencies. He stated, once you learn the rules, then you know how to break them. Kid's a genius. He's feeling incredible about where he's at right now, and we are both so excited to see what the future holds for him. Special talent right here. Thanks so much for coming on the show, my friend, and I'm looking forward to catching some stand-up comedy together with you soon. Now let's get into it right now so you can hear his story for yourselves. This is episode 174 with MUUS. Ladies and gentlemen, hello, and welcome to a very special episode of Sherm in the Booth. And I gotta tell you, before we even say anything about this guy, I'm pumped that we're doing it in person. The timing is impeccable because Michael Mussolini just moved to Chicago, Illinois, baby. Welcome.
Hey, we're here.
Congratulations.
All the way from beautiful Ohio.
Beautiful Columbus, right?
Columbus. Born and raised in Columbus. Went to college in Cincinnati, so about 2 hours south.
Amazing.
So I've been in Cincinnati for about 5 years. Did a 5-year program.
I got a lot of respect for Ohio people, I really do. Not just because I'm from Indiana, but people from Ohio are nice to people from Indiana and vice
100%,
versa.
yeah.
We respect each other.
Without a doubt, yeah.
Everybody go through all 4 seasons just the same as you do.
Exactly, yeah. Everybody I meet from the Midwest is just like instant connection, you know. We
so
all
true.
go through just like the same shit together, you know?
That's right, especially because we're both half Jewish too.
We are.
Thanks for whipping that out, and thanks for noticing my menorah over there.
Dude, when I see menorahs or people, you know, with like David Starr around their neck, it's the first thing I say.
That's it.
And it was funny because I was in LA 2 weekends ago.
Yeah.
Playing a show, and I met these 2 dudes, and they come up to me, and the kid goes, "Hey, how's it going?" And we like, you know, give each other daps.
Right.
And he's like, "My name's Michael." He's like, "Oh, I'm Yehuda." And then the other kid, I forget his name, but it was the most Jewish name ever. And just the first thing I could say is, "You guys are Jewish." And they're like, "Yeah, are you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, my mom's Jewish."
There you
and
go.
It was just like instant connection. It was amazing. But yeah, with a name like Yehuda, I mean,
dude, you introduced yourself. You reintroduced yourself.
Yeah, it was incredible.
I always say this to my Jewish friends too. Like I didn't have a bar mitzvah or anything, but like I think these days too, with religion, and not to dive too deep into religion here, not even 2 minutes in.
Yeah.
But there's like an actual like cultural and societal aspect to it, especially with Judaism. Like, I can meet a Jewish guy and like right away we get along just because.
Great people.
It's just
like,
it's just like you're raised by your parents or a parent who is Jewish, and like they were raised by their Jewish parents, and it's just kind of how you go about life.
Oh, 100%.
I've noticed that I have a lot of Catholic friends and all that sort of stuff, and there's just like a cultural and just like normality to it, and we get it.
Dude, Jewish people are incredible people.
Yes.
And my mom's grandparents, my mom's side is Jewish, but they were kind of more serious about it, like
Yeah,
growing
for
up.
sure.
And my grandpa even today still goes to,
So goes to temple?
I'm a horrible Jewish person, but what's the Torah?
He still reads the Torah?
Well, he goes to like Torah studies, like a Bible study. So
hell
he
yeah.
still kind of like practices like the ideas of it too, and like,
Right.
and we celebrate everything. Like, and
Okay.
So we celebrate Christmas, and we'll go to my mom's side.
Are you not full Jewish
for
then?
Hanukkah? Not full Jewish, half. Yeah.
Do you do Christmas then too?
Yeah, we celebrate everything. Yeah, because my dad's side is
Damn, bro, you got a busy year.
busy year. A lot of gifts.
Doing Yom
Lot
Kippur
of
and
gifts.
Christmas and Hanukkah.
No, we don't do gifts for Hanukkah, but we just like celebrate it and we do like the formalities, and it's super fun. And
That's
like,
awesome.
Yeah, Grandma and Papa are just the most incredible people in the
Where
world.
do they live?
Westerville, Ohio, which is
Yeah.
about 20 minutes from where I grew up. So we
Not
had
a lot of
them-
Jews there.
Not a lot of Jews there. No.
My dad's from Bayside, Queens, and
It's
now he
just
lives
like-
in Indianapolis. Not
yeah.
a lot of Jews there.
I mean, yeah, for sure a minority.
Yeah, for sure. A minority in Ohio.
But yeah, growing up was super super awesome. Kind of being able to experience that culture.
Yeah.
And
sure.
probably, I mean, my parents were awesome. Like growing up, like they never pushed any sort of religion on us. They kind of allowed us to kind of explore and figure out like kind of what we believed in, which is cool.
Yeah.
But still celebrating both to kind of like breadth of knowledge.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But
Well-rounded.
when I have kids one day, like I definitely want to expose them to some of the similar things that I did. Cause
Yeah. I feel the same.
yeah.
Gosh, you're a good guy.
Thank you.
What a gem of a person.
So you didn't have a bar mitzvah either? You
I
said?
did not. No.
Yeah.
No, I was actually
So-
baptized, but I've been
Gotcha.
to way more Jewish events than
Yeah.
Christian events.
So I've just been toying with this idea.
Hit me.
We should throw like a crazy like bar mitzvah party.
God. Yes.
I've actually been talking about it for like a while because like after I met like Yehuda and like LA and like
Yeah.
I met some other Jewish people in New York City, I was just like kind of bouncing the idea off. I'm like, guys, I'm thinking I'm gonna throw like some sort of crazy like bar mitzvah party at some point in the next like couple
Yes.
years,
Yeah.
like where I could like full on party, but then like at some point like the music cuts,
Yeah.
and like I start reading from like the Torah and it's just like lit as hell.
Oh my God.
And then like afterwards like like
Dude,
build like beats about to drop and like I'm in the crowd on a chair and like people are just like how lit would that
You could
be?
get a cantor in there because the cantors are incredible
Yeah.
singers. Incredible. Some of the best voices I've ever heard
Yeah.
in my life are in a temple.
Yeah.
And I actually, speaking of bar mitzvahs, the best party I've ever been to. Ever. Ever. Fucking ever. You can't top this shit, man.
Yeah.
My buddy had his bar mitzvah at an ice rink.
Dude.
Dude, it was the first time I ever grinded with a girl.
To this day, just the
I
most
wasn't
lit
grinding.
party.
It was not grinding, it was
Yeah.
whatever.
So that's when you guys were
I don't know,
like
I'm not gonna do it again.
13, like
13,
about 12,
13. And it was at an ice rink.
And what a fun age to have like the first banger that
best.
you and your friends have ever experienced.
Banger
you know?
indeed.
Yeah.
Like,
Plus,
so
like,
lit.
some of those Jewish families, like, they really put on the, they put the spread
It's the
out, like-
quinceañera of the Jewish religion, man.
Yeah.
It's lit.
Yeah.
Wow. There are so many good things just going
So,
through my mind right now about that.
yeah, we'll rain check that. We'll talk about the bar mitzvah party
For sure.
after.
God. Wow. I am sweating about how excited I am right
Yeah,
now.
that'd be great.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. We're going to move on. We're here to focus on music.
That is about music.
Yeah. That is, you're right. You're right. Your music, I guess you
Yeah.
should say. Wow. Originals only, too, at this party.
Yeah. Only.
Make an edit?
Just make I was
A
just
Baruch
gonna
Atah
say.
Adonai, dude. Woo! The Sherman MUUS.
All right.
That would go. That
Dude, it would be
go
crazy.
off.
Like Moose and Sherm's like bar mitzvah. That would
Maybe
literally.
the bar mitzvah I never had.
Yeah.
I could get mitzvahed.
I know. Same.
We could both get mitzvahed at this.
Yes.
Wow. Well, we got to go to Hebrew school then.
We'll figure that out.
Okay. All right.
We'll learn it an
We
hour
got. What was
before.
that guy's name in LA?
Yehuda.
Yehuda. We got to check with Yehuda on
Yehuda
specifics. We
and-
don't want to offend anybody.
I forget the other kid's name, but
My last name could have been Schlockman.
okay,
So
that's pretty Jewish.
I thought. Yeah, pretty.
And you're sure
It's not Sherman.
Sherman.
Yeah, my
And what's
my
that?
great grandpa changed his last name to avoid racial discrimination while
Oh.
owning a men's clothing store in New York City.
No shit.
Yeah, so he went from Schlockman to Sherman.
Wow.
Which it's not that big of a difference, but it helped.
Definitely, I bet
Yeah.
it did. Wow, that's insane.
Yeah. Crazy times. Not so long ago. You know, it was like
Not long ago at all.
80, 90 years ago. Insane.
Yeah, life is
So,
short. It's crazy.
I've thought about maybe an alter ego, DJ Schlocko.
I like that.
Not bad.
Kind of sounds like schlong.
It does. I don't know if I've ever said it out loud, actually. It's always been up here.
Schlocko.
Just came out.
Yeah, it's like Flocko.
Yeah.
And like,
Waka Schlocka.
yeah. That's good.
I'm me and Lil Dicky go fucking back to back.
Waka Schlocka.
Waka Schlocka.
That's good. It's
Okay.
creative.
All right, man. Firing on all cylinders so
Yeah.
far today.
Incredible.
This is off to a great start, ladies and gentlemen. This is pure entertainment.
Yeah.
This is podcasting right now, by the way.
Yeah.
Off the book.
This is actually my first podcast too.
Really?
That I've ever done ever.
You're doing great.
I listen to a lot of podcasts too.
What's your favorite?
Have you watched Dave?
Of course.
Andrew Santino.
Dude, are you going to say Bad Friends?
So I've listened to a little bit of Bad Friends.
Okay,
and I like it.
Or Whiskey Ginger?
Whiskey Ginger I really enjoy because I like the people he interviews.
Same.
So I play that all. I'm pretty much gone through every episode. And Andrew Santino is actually coming to Chicago in like February. It's on a Saturday, so I'm hesitant to buy tickets just in case like I could book a show that
I know
day.
the feeling.
But like I want to see him in stand up so bad.
Where's he coming?
Chicago Theater. Is that what this is right here?
Literally right there. Listen, there's no gig that's more important.
That's
than
kinda
us
what I was
pre-gaming
thinking.
here and going right there.
Okay, done. I'll actually block that date. We're buying tickets. Yeah.
Did we just become best friends?
Yeah. Yup.
Yeah. Now this is gonna be our own podcast called Best Friends, and
That's actually a good idea. We'll totally do that because
Yeah.
it'd just be like block the day, night off, just go laugh, have fun.
You gotta have some nights off.
Cool.
I will warn you. My girlfriend won't even go see stand-up comedy with me because I laugh so loud.
That sounds like a blast.
I get so into it,
I'm taking her spot.
dude.
Yeah, because I'll be laughing just as loud. Probably.
I love that shit so much
Yeah.
because like there's nothing better because like watching stand-up comedy is funny on Netflix and stuff, but like it's like going to a show or watching a live stream.
100%. Yeah, and it's just like stand-up comedians like as an art form is so impressive to me.
Absolutely.
Like how quick you have to be off the top of your head. How confident you have to be,
So
just in the
confident.
fact of like standing up in front of people,
Yeah.
is unbelievable. And two, like I don't think people realize like how like rehearsed their sets are, you know.
Absolutely.
And they'll like I think it was Andrew Santino talking about it is like, you know, in their off season they'll show up to a comedy club on a Tuesday to just like test stuff out.
Yes.
It's like the DJ equivalent of like going to your car and like testing out your tracks, you know.
So true.
To do the car test, you know. So
Yes.
they like work on these sets forever and morph them and be like, all right, what worked? How's the pacing?
Yeah.
And then the you know the finished product is just a polished
It's amazing.
piece of like incredible art. So.
It's so true. Like I have a deep, profound respect for like live theater as well. Like I
Oh,
saw
dude.
Hamilton live.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
that- Are we?
Dude, Broadway is my shit.
Wow! It is my shit too. Why do you think I moved next to Chicago Theater?
Do you go to a lot of shows?
Dude, I live above a ballet, and I'm looking forward to going to my first ballet.
Dude, I want to go so bad with you.
Okay,
Like, let's do
go.
it. I've seen Mamma Mia like 8 times.
Oh,
not
fuck,
even kidding.
dude.
And
Me too.
And I've cried almost like every time because it's
Oh.
incredible. What else is good? The Book of Mormon is
Oh,
great.
That
live.
one is the one my girlfriend said, I love you, but we can't do this together anymore.
Dude.
I was singing,
Dude.
I am a Mormon to her. Like, I'd wake up in
Dude.
the middle of the night and be like, I am
Yeah.
a Mormon.
Just turn it off like a light switch.
Yeah.
It goes click. Dude, this is...
They are performing in the most difficult setting with like an audience that's definitely judgmental.
Yep,
right?
and they're hot.
They're
and
hot.
like they're exhausted because
They're
they
dancing.
and they tour like crazier than DJs. Like
Oh, for sure.
they'll
They
play 3 shows a night,
It's
and they'll
insane.
do that like Friday, Saturday. It's ridiculous, but yeah, I love Broadway.
Love Broadway.
Incredible. My mom got me into it big time. Yeah.
My grandpa got me into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big. I started with the Music Man.
Okay.
Gary, Indiana.
that
My
one.
home swim. Maybe I'm old for that. I sound like a grandpa right now. You going? I don't know that. Fuck. Whatever.
Nah,
but
we're
I
the same
do
age.
absolutely love that art form.
Yeah, dude, it's incredible.
It's underappreciated. Santino interviewed Jeff Garlin.
I need to watch that one.
You haven't seen
Listen
that
to
one?
No.
You know Jeff Garlin?
Should I?
You know Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Yeah.
Okay, you know the big fat guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, him.
Got it.
Him.
Cool.
And He actually just sang "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" at the Cubs game recently. So,
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember if he's not from Chicago.
Oh, okay. Santino's from Chicago.
Santino's from Chicago, yeah, and he always reps Chicago.
Yeah, always.
Always. I
Always.
love that. He tells great stories about Chicago. Man.
Yeah.
It's always so cool, like, when you don't even have to know them personally, but when it's like someone from Chicago or like Columbus or Cleveland or like wherever, and they like become world famous, you're like, wow, it's tangible to have success coming from this place.
Dude, insane. I think
Right?
about that all the time, yeah.
All the time.
It's crazy. Like, everybody's just, like, a normal person. And everybody
Yeah.
started from zero, for the most part, you know?
Everybody. I mean, pretty much. And it's always awesome, like, when you just see them and you're like, what steps did they take? Like, where are they at right now? And
Yeah.
It's inspiring.
It's so inspiring, yeah.
I don't care if you're a stand-up comedian. I don't care if you're a world-famous DJ. If you're literally on Broadway, like...
Any sort of platform. It's incredible.
And Chicago's been so good to me in so many ways, man. Like,
Yeah.
I'm really, really happy that you made the decision to come here. It's good people. It's a special place. It's definitely competitive. It's hard knocks here, but if you look in the right places, like, there's a lot of opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. And, yeah, I mean, I had been in Ohio for 23 years of my life, and once we graduated college, it was just like, dude, we're going to a bigger city.
Did you look at other places?
So I lived in New York for an internship.
New York City?
New York City, 3 years ago.
Where in New
3
York?
summers ago. We lived in Brooklyn.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, it was great. It was an awesome experience, and I like New York a lot, and I'm glad I had that experience.
Yeah.
It's an intense city.
Dude.
Especially being, like the Ohioan that I am, like just so Midwestern. Like,
Yes.
I liked it, but like, yeah, it's just an intense place,
Very intense.
And I loved it, and I would like to go back for sure at some point. It's so expensive, and wasn't making a lot of money, and it was just like, paycheck to paycheck, and it was really hard.
You got to rough
months.
So many people are roughing it there.
Yeah, for sure. So I like the idea of Chicago for a lot of reasons. I mean, the music scene's great.
Yeah.
It's still kind of that Midwestern energy. The people are very, everybody from the tri-state moves to Chicago.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I just felt it was the perfect balance between like opportunity and like, I don't know, what's the word? Like opportunity and just like
Familiarity
and like true to like my roots and kind of like how I grew up,
Definitely.
And I could not be more happy with that decision. We've only been here for like a month, but it's amazing.
Oh man, the best is yet to come, bro.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
winter.
The winter. I'm actually excited for the winter. Like I love experiencing all 4 seasons for sure.
Same. That's why I never feel like I could move to LA because I love the holidays. I mean, you definitely love the holidays. Celebrate damn near every holiday. And it doesn't feel like Christmas unless it's cold as shit outside. And if it's snow on Christmas, it's even better.
It's like it's the best. It's a dream come true. Yeah.
And everybody, like, I know a lot of people that moved from Chicago, like San Diego or LA or like wherever, and they're like, I couldn't do the winters anymore. And I'm literally just like, pussy.
Great, stay out.
Yeah, like, fine. Guess what? Chicago during the winter,
yeah,
they're gonna challenge you even more.
Yeah.
Not the winters itself, but the city gives more to do than like the summer. Like, sure, you got the festivals, the shows and stuff, but you got sports getting involved. Like, once it started to get colder, you got the Bears.
Yeah.
I feel like NBA, like
For
the
sure.
Bulls. The Bulls are finally gonna be good again, thank God. Even though I'm a Pacers fan, I still love basketball. And every single winter, we're always like, we're gonna stay in, we're gonna hunker down. You do some weekends,
But you're
but
out,
it's like
yeah.
you're out. You're waiting in the line in the freezing cold. Your toes are falling
Dude,
off.
I can't wait. I love it.
It's awesome.
I do have to get a nice pair of warm boots.
Yes, you do.
I don't have that piece of clothing, but yeah, I got my down jacket ready to go. We're gonna body the winter. It's gonna be great.
Thick layers, man. That's all I can recommend.
Yeah.
You. I pride myself on divvying through an entire winter. You know the divvies here, the city bikes.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing really to be proud of here. It's more so just for me. In fact, no one is really even. They're like, that was stupid.
How does that work? Can the tires kind of handle some of the?
There were certainly some days where I took like an Uber. Like it was one of the winters where it was like there was a few freezing cold days.
Yeah.
But I would hop on with my fucking leather gloves and my down jacket.
Just body it.
And there were some days I just, you know what, like it wasn't convenient enough to walk to the train. Like it just made sense to divvy.
Right.
Like it was like a 10-minute divvy or like a 25-minute walk to the train and shit. And I just felt like I earned something.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. It's like in elementary school. I don't know if you I'm sure you took a bus to school, right?
I did,
Indiana?
absolutely.
Yeah.
And my parents would not drive me.
Yeah, no. God, no. I was running out to the bus stop at like 7 a.m. and my
Yeah.
parents are like knocked out in bed. I'm like, all right, bye. They're like,
All right,
"Man,
bye,
you
yeah."
have a good day. You know, it's like 20 degrees out. The school's like, well, should we close because it's too cold? And we're
wasn't
out
that
there.
crazy? We get 2 hour delays.
But then,
'cause the kids
but then
would
you get to
frostbite?
school and you're just like, I'm a man.
I'm a man. I did that shit.
We go through shit, like.
Dude, what did you listen to on the school bus? Because I saw all these hilarious TikToks of like when you're like 7th grade, and
Oh my God, that's
I
a
used to
great
listen
question.
to 50 Cent, like Many Men, like the most
Yeah.
intense 50 Cent song. I don't even think, I think it was edited. And I remember just like, it's 6:30 in the morning, I'm like, man,
You're like
man,
12
yeah,
years
backseat. I'm like, fuck, yeah,
Yeah.
dude, this is hard.
That's a good question. I remember me and my neighbor that I grew up with, his name is Garrett Ball.
Let's go,
the
Garrett.
homie, yeah. We sat in the seats, because we had assigned seats. It was like a packed bus.
Oh, nice.
Like 2s in each, sometimes 3 if you were small. Big Thunder.
wow.
That was thunder?
Yeah, there's supposed to
Nice.
be tornadoes in Chicago.
Awesome, I love it.
Perfect.
Perfect. And yeah, so we used to sit next to each other, and we used to have back when you had to plug in your headphones. Like, remember those
Ooh,
days?
yeah, absolutely.
And one in each ear, and I remember we always listened to Logic's like first
Yes.
like Sinatra mixtapes,
Dude.
Back when
that
like
was the shit.
and I feel weird because I generally feel old like
Yeah,
saying this,
I
but like
understand.
Dat Piff, and like you would go down like
Yeah,
bootleg download like anything you could find,
I know, yeah. Wiz
Um,
Khalifa, bro, Grow Season. I started in the early
Dude,
days.
crazy. So we listened to that and like all yeah, a lot of rap like
It's a Midwest thing, I feel like, right?
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
you have this Notorious B.I.G. remix, so I knew, like, this guy's got appreciation for the good stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I remember when I was really young too. Like, we were listening to a lot of like the Lil Wayne stuff. A lot of kind of that like newer stuff that was kind of coming around.
Yeah.
But one of my buddies, and still my best friend to this day, Ethan. He's a videographer.
Ethan.
He was always had such an elevated taste in rap music, and he would always listen to like the lyrical stuff.
Yeah,
And
the
we'd
Kendrick Lamar type
We'd be
stuff.
listening to like Lil Wayne, and he would just be like, "Nah, man, I'm not about that." He's like, I'm listening to like Hobson and like
Oh,
I don't know if you remember
Jesus.
Hobson.
I
Yeah.
do.
So I remember like the Ill Mind of Hobson series. Like he would have like Ill Mind 1, 2, 3. They'd come out every like I don't know like 3 months, 6 months.
Insane.
And every time it would come out, it was like this big premiere, and we'd be listening to it for that whole week. And
Do you like that lyrical shit?
absolutely massive appreciation for it.
Appreciation.
Of course.
But you don't rage to it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I have a really not soft spot, but like almost like a guilty pleasure in just like ridiculous like mumble rap. Like I
Dude.
remember back in like 2016
For sure.
or 2016 is when I was a freshman in college, and like all my friends were just doing like Lil or like Kodak Black, and like
Oh.
it was when like Lil
Migos,
Yachty
of
was
course,
like
yeah.
coming out, and Migos was super kind of like
Waka
just getting
Waka.
in. All of
Yeah.
that, just like like I remember even like Lil Xan, bro. Like for some reason, like that shit was just like really interesting to me.
It's
'Cause
just
I was like,
hard beats and they flow.
yeah, and it got a lot of hate too, but like, I guess I always kind of looked at it from like, like an art perspective.
Yeah.
And how these people were able to just like brand themselves in this most ridiculous way.
Absolutely.
And go viral off of like just craziness.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's really cool and like
Yeah.
interesting to me. And I thought the beats were super crazy. And that's kind of how I got into like production at first, because I was like, I want to make rap beats like that. Like that's
Dude,
really cool.
Totally agree. And like I have a guilty pleasure for Travis Scott, like a weird
Yeah.
affinity. Like super fan, don't even know how or when
Yeah.
it happened. I saw him like at Lollapalooza, and like I knew some of his songs. And
Yeah.
one of my buddies was like a really big fan.
And once you see the shows, it changes everything.
And
like, for
in
sure.
less than 2 months, like I surpassed him with like listening to every song, and like I went to Astroworld. I'm going to Astroworld this year in Houston. Like
Sick.
I love that shit, bro. It's just like the energy that they bring, and I think
Unbelievable, yeah.
that shit gets a bad rap because a lot of the performers are bad.
Yeah.
Like they come on for like 20 minutes
And
and
they
then they're
sing
gone.
every other word, not even every other word,
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Backing
mean,
tracks,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But people were there to like turn up and mosh and just go crazy. I remember
Yeah.
one of the first times I ever went to California before I was even doing any music stuff. I mean, I was like doing open format DJing probably in
Yeah.
college, but I was into like photography and video and stuff.
Right.
And I got media access to like a young band show.
Nice.
Which was sick. It was in Orange County. It was the first time I had ever been like up close and personal in like a photo booth. Just,
Oh,
like,
shit.
Dude, it was lit. I mean, the performance was whatever,
Right.
but like the sound, just the bass was so loud, like, and the crowd was just so energetic and hype, and I was just like,
You felt something.
I felt something. It was sick, you know. So
Dude, amazing.
yeah,
So you weren't doing videography before DJing, though, right?
yeah, big time.
Have you always been a creative?
Yeah, I remember I got my first DSLR camera in the 7th grade maybe.
Okay.
And I was just super interested in like taking photos. Like I just remember thinking it was the coolest thing to like focus on something really close and then the background was just like super blurry.
Yeah,
you know?
I totally
that was
agree.
just like the coolest thing to me. So I started, you know,
The coolest
thing, like taking just pictures, just, you know, as a hobby.
Yeah.
And then honestly, I kind of put the camera down for a little while through high school. I got more into like e-commerce and I was like selling shit online. That's a whole other thing to get into. I was doing like digital marketing. I was always just like doing some sort of entrepreneurial creative thing.
Yeah.
And then once I got to college, I kind of got back into like the camera stuff. And the reason I got into video versus photo is because I just kind of wanted to like make money just like right off the bat.
A lot more money,
So I was
yeah.
like, you know, once I realized, people will pay me to like go make a video for them for, you know, money. Like that's crazy, you know, to me.
Right.
So I kind of started doing that and just kind of totally dove into that world, doing freelance stuff, really anything.
Did you have any bad experiences?
Honestly, no.
Yeah.
No, not too many bad experiences. Mostly pretty good. Like I remember one of the first videos I did was for a hair salon.
Nice.
And so that was how I kind of first got like into dyeing my hair, just like blonde.
Oh yeah.
I was like, hey, they wanted me to shoot. They were very involved in like the Pride Festival every year.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like, we want a recap video for like our Pride video. Like we all dress up, we all have fun. It's great.
Right.
So I was like, okay, great. And they're like, okay, we can pay you, or we can, you know, we'll do your hair, like whatever you want. And I'm like, dye that shit blonde.
Fuck yeah.
Dye that shit blonde for sure.
What's your natural color then? There it is.
Super dark. And I was actually,
That's awesome.
I grew up blonde. Like I was blonde my whole life, but in the last like 5 years, my hair's gotten very dark.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, bleach that shit.
Fuck yeah.
And I remember they bleached it. And I don't know if like you know how this works, but like they bleach it, right? And that turns it like, you know, like a yellow color.
Oh yeah.
And then they have to put like the toner in to kind of bring it down and kind of make it light.
Right.
But I remember like after she bleached it, I thought it was the coolest thing. Like my hair was like neon yellow. It was like so bright. And I was like, that is so cool. Like that's it.
Full
like,
on Super Saiyan.
Like we're done here, dry it, like, and I'll be on my way. And
Yeah.
she's like, are you sure? She's like, your hair's bleached, and I'm like, yes, that is what I want.
Wow.
And I remember I picked up my girlfriend from a bar at the time, and like she was with a bunch of friends, and they like double taked, and they're just like, what the fuck did you do to your head? And I was like, what do you mean?
This looks good.
It looks great.
Yeah.
And she's like, tomorrow you are going back to the hair salon. You're putting toner in your hair.
Is that true?
That's true.
He was very gold. He just needed some toner.
Yeah. So
That's pretty swag.
Yeah.
It is like my buddy dyes his hair blonde all the time too. And I've seen it like when it's fresh, and it's glowing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's kind of badass though.
So that was my first video gig, yeah, and it was great. And then after that, I started kind of charging more money for it. And it was great. Like I thought that was going to be like fully my career.
Yeah.
And then I was super into that like rap stuff. Started making beats, and then like through that just fell in love so hard with producing music.
Oh man.
Like so hard, it was insane.
So did you have any like friends that were producing at the same time, or you just went in deep by yourself?
In that sound, totally by myself. I remember I downloaded a copy of Logic from my buddy that I worked with at the time, doing like, it was actually a video internship. He was, long story, he had a copy of Logic on his computer, and I remember I was able to like iMessage that file to me on my computer, and then you can open it up in your computer. So I basically got his copy of Logic on my computer. It was great. I just couldn't update it because it was tied to his iCloud account, whatever.
Oh, okay.
So I had the Logic, and through that I just started watching YouTube videos, just started making these like
Wow.
hip hop beats. And yeah, I just literally had such a blast. Like,
That's amazing.
literally so much fun. I was like, oh my God, I made this. And I've always been musical.
Right.
And I can kind of go deeper into that. But I mean, all my life I have been musical, you know, like I started taking guitar lessons when I was 10.
Mm-hmm.
So I always had kind of like an ear for, you know, things like that. I never knew a ton of music theory, but I could kind of like hear like what sounded good together, like in a scale. I couldn't tell
You
you
don't
what.
have to go to a class to
Yeah,
understand
no,
music theory.
I couldn't tell you what scale it was, but I
Right.
can tell you that, okay, these 3 notes sound
You know what's good,
correct.
what's bad.
So I kind of took that and it just kind of like, you know, it kind of just like came super naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, literally the rest is history. Producing was my life.
Wow.
And,
But you hadn't even been exposed to electronic music yet, right?
yes, but not in the production stuff. So growing up, and especially when like like the EDM stuff really hit the American market
Yeah.
in what, like 2012, 13, 14?
Yeah, 10 through 12 I feel
Yeah.
like was really the...
Was not on my radar at all. In fact,
Wow.
like I remember at my high school, like EDM was kind of like a joke, like, oh, like EDM, like, I wanna run away, like that shit just got trashed, you know.
Yeah.
So I was never into it. Like, I was listening to a lot of like alternative rock, indie rock, classic rock, just like
Sure.
you know, stuff with drum sets for the most part.
Yeah.
And I love that stuff, and hip hop too.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until college, until my freshman year roommates, who are still like some of my best friends today,
Mm-hmm.
they like repped it so hard. Like they repped electronic music so hard.
Hell yes.
You know, at first I was like, you know, whatever. And then, you know, you start going to frat parties and you start getting super drunk.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you're just like,
oh.
you know, it's a guilty pleasure at first.
Uh-huh.
And then, you know, you catch yourself listening to like really heavy bass house on a Tuesday night studying for
It's all over.
exam, you know? So through that, just like, yeah, I mean, you know, once you're in, you're totally sucked in.
Yeah,
And,
of course.
through that, actually, yeah, before that even happened, we went to Bonnaroo when I was with two of my best friends when we just graduated high school.
Mm-hmm.
So we were like 18 going into college, went to Bonnaroo.
Right.
And we weren't super into electronic music. We were mostly there for like bands and stuff.
Yeah.
Which Bonnaroo's great for that, of course, but they have
yeah,
a
they
very
got it all.
very diverse lineup, which is why we love it.
Right.
And I remember we were walking past the stage one evening, and we walked up on this guy. You might have heard his name before, Claude Von Stroke.
I have.
Just you know, Claude Von Stroke. I don't know if
That's
you've heard of
right.
him or not.
The ledge.
And we were just like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
like
some Dirty Bird shit too.
Yeah, and it was like this was 2016 when
Oh yeah.
you know that Dirty Bird sound was very new and very
Mm-hmm.
distinct.
Uh-huh.
And you know, we walked up and we're just like, oh my God, what is this? Like,
Damn.
so kind of through that we were like, all right, this like tech house music is like really
different.
fascinating.
Right.
And kind of through that, getting to college and being exposed to kind of some of the heavier stuff.
Right.
You know, I was like fully, you know, to
Wow.
the world of electronic music. And it wasn't until so I started producing like hip hop music or like rap beats and stuff, and I
Right.
thought that was super cool.
Right.
And then I moved to New York for that internship, and that's when I really dove into like producing electronic music, which was so crazy of a jump.
Yeah.
Like that first, like, you know, those first few moments when you're like trying to figure out like electronic production is just such a mind fuck. You're just like,
Dude.
how in the hell do people make this? Like,
You
what
play a
the
note on the
fuck?
synth and you're like, it's like, duh, and you're like, I'm Hardwell.
Yeah, you're like, that's not what it sounds like
Yeah.
in my favorite songs. And then, you know, you download every like somatic serum preset that
every
exists.
preset you
and you're just
possibly
like, that
can.
sounds good. Womp,
Dude,
womp, womp.
massive synth.
Yeah.
Like the fucking big room synth pack. You're like, bam, bam, whoa.
Yeah, so through that, just, you know, trial and error didn't,
Yeah.
you know, it's really easy in those early stages too to be like, oh, this is worthless, this is
Right.
impossible, like it's not happening.
Right.
But if you can fight through like those emotions, song by song, you just kind of get better and better. And
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people don't realize, like, to make good music, you got to make a lot of shitty music.
A lot.
A lot of shitty music.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a hard truth, but you know,
Yeah.
it's really amazing what you can do just off of YouTube and trial and error.
So true.
And you know, I never went to like a music school. It was really just like, you know, YouTube University or whatever people call it. And,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just an absolute grind.
It is a grind, dude. So this was 2018, you said?
Would have been diving into electronic music was the summer of 2019.
Summer of 2019. And your first track came out in 2020, though.
Yeah.
First track was Keep You Moving, right?
First track was actually the Biggie Smalls little edit thing on SoundCloud.
Oh, nice.
So that was in April of 2020. So the
you
order...
were really feeling yourself in fucking New York, huh?
The order of events
Let's go.
was move to New York, start producing like electronic music.
Right.
I would work 40 hours a week. I'd go to work at 9. I'd leave at 5.
Yeah.
I'd come home, make a quick dinner, and then I'd produce from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. And then I'd wake up and go to work the next day.
Jesus.
And I lived with Kate in New York. And we literally every
This
single
is all
day.
true?
All true. Every single day I would do that, every day. I was working like a dog. I was and I was doing video editing at the job. So it was flexing my creativity at work.
Yeah.
And I'd come home and flex my and by the end of it I was just worn out, but just so inspired because I got better,
Right,
I was
right.
Oh my God, this is crazy.
Worn out in the sense where you literally gave it your all.
Yeah, and so then came back to school that fall, and really kind of dove into the local electronic scene because it was kind of small and there weren't a lot of people throwing parties or doing house music stuff. Cincinnati's very dubstep heavy.
Yeah.
Scene. I don't know about Indianapolis.
Dubstep, because I feel like dubstep has a real cult following.
Yeah, it does.
In no matter what city, those people come out to shows.
Yeah, they travel.
Yeah. Look at Lost Lands.
Yeah, crazy.
Massive.
Yeah, insane. So yeah, kind of dove into that. Music kept getting better, and I really worked since I was not working my internship. I was just doing school. I was a horrible student that semester because all I wanted to do was make music. But then I had another semester to just really dive in and kind of get better. And then the new year happened, and then that April is when that first song came out. So it was kind of a quick turnaround.
Pretty quick turnaround.
Very very quick.
So you were really logging hours then, bro.
Dude, crazy hours. I was probably working. I was definitely in Ableton easily 40 hours a week on top of school, without a doubt.
Holy shit.
Late nights. Just literally every single day, every single minute, all I could think about was, God, my kick drums are shit. I need to get better at that. I'm literally on the toilet just
Dude,
watching
You're
videos.
born to be a fucking house producer.
Yeah.
Thinking things like that.
Yeah. So that was just.
I love it.
So that was a crazy semester, and then it just didn't stop at all. And actually, it's funny because that fall, I got back from New York. I did 15 credit hours in school, and I did music. So the program that I was in at UC in Cincinnati was 5 years. They do business co-ops every other semester.
Yeah.
So a lot of kids in the business school are on a 5-year track. So they'll go to school one semester full time, and then next semester they get full-time jobs, and they alternate doing that. So by the time they graduate, they have a handful of internships under their belt.
That makes sense.
Which is great. You graduate with a ton of experience. My buddy owned a digital marketing agency, more or less.
Yeah.
And I was able to kind of go in there and have him essentially sign my papers saying that I was his full-time intern.
Wow.
And then, I wasn't. So I would literally produce music. That was my full-time job for that semester in the spring.
Oh my God.
And you see, they don't check that hard,
No.
They're not fully checking it. At the end of the semester you have to fill out a reflection form, and it was total bullshit, And I remember UC sends my boss or my mentor a Survey Monkey reflection.
Yeah.
And I remember he forwarded me the link, and he's like, "Hey man, I think you should probably fill this out," pretending to be me, just in case there's any discrepancies in your story versus mine.
Oh my God.
So shout out UC.
Let's fucking go.
I hope none of the administrators are listening to this podcast.
I hope they do.
Or else they take my degree away.
Nah. You fucking good, bro.
No, I earned that shit.
Yeah.
No, so that was crazy.
Holy shit.
So I ended up doing that for, let's see, I was a junior at that time. So I ended up doing that for the spring, and then in the summer, I think I took one class and continued to do music.
Right.
And then that fall, I took a full load because I still had to finish college. And then that spring, I took another, like, semester off with the internship. So I had a lot of time in my undergrad to, like, really, like, zone in on production. And that, like, without that, you know, who knows?
Wouldn't be where you are right now.
And the pandemic as well, too, like.
Right. So there was nothing even distracting you.
No. I moved home for, you know, 3 or 4 months. Mm-hmm. And I literally, like, every single day I was in my parents' basement, just, like, on my computer, like, just making me.
Confirms.
Yeah, fully confirmed. Like, dude, it was unhealthy. Like, I would stay up until, like, 5 a.m., like. My dad sometimes, like, has trouble sleeping, so he'll, like, wake up and come downstairs and, like, watch some like, TV. And, like, you know, it's 3:30 a.m. My dad comes down. He's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, still. I'm like, but I gotta make this music. So, yeah, there was a time there where, you know, it was definitely confusing because I've had a lot of different, like, interests, you know, and a lot of different stuff. Like, when I'm interested in something, I'm, like, it's my thing. Like, I buy into the culture. Like, I snowboarded in when I was young, and like that was like my shit. Like, I was in the culture. I knew every pro, like, you know, whatever. Mm-hmm. Video editing, like that was my thing.
Right.
Like lacrosse, and I like that. You know, that was just our thing. You know.
I played lacrosse.
Really?
Too.
Dude, we have a lot in common.
Wow, this is weird.
Yeah.
I love skiing. My brother loves snowboarding too.
Dude, crazy.
We love it too.
Damn. We're alike.
We got a lot to do.
We got to go to Broadway, and we got to go on a trip to ski.
Fuck, dude. We're busy.
And we got to have a bar mitzvah together.
Oh.
Got a lot to look forward to. So, yeah, I mean, I forget what I was saying, but, yeah, I mean, it took a while for my parents to kind of, like, you know, because at the early stages of really diving into music, it was like, oh, you know, like, you know, we'll support Michael in anything he does, but, you know, it's just another one of his, like, hobbies, you know, it's like what he's into.
Sure.
And, you know, great, that's awesome.
Right.
And it took, you know, even up until, like, probably 3 months ago, where they were really able to kind of see, like, where this could go.
Yeah.
Or, like, what opportunities there are, you know, in the music industry outside of just touring.
Yeah.
Because, you know, early on when I was explaining it, I was like, yeah, like, I want to tour and I want to, like, play shows on Fridays and Saturdays 52 weeks out of the year. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, well, you're going to tour when you're, like, 35, 45 years old? And I'm like, well, there's people that do, but, you know, probably not. But now they're seeing, like, okay, well, there's labels, there's publishing, there's ghostwriting, there's executive production. Yeah, so much opportunities to have income for, you know, if music does well, like,
absolutely,
you know, it can be pretty good for, like, the financial situation. So they're kind of just now seeing, like, where that can go. Yeah. Which is exciting because I fully have, like, the backing of them now. I mean, I always did, but, you know, it's more, like, legit now.
They were blindly supporting you. Now they actually see.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a funny story too. Like, my grandparents, my mom's side, the Jewish side. Yeah. Literally angels, like my favorite people in the world, like second parents, so close to them. Mm-hmm. And they're very supportive, but, you know, they're from a different generation. They don't know what is happening, right? Yeah. And, you know, they would listen to the music and they're just like, what the fuck is this? Like, you know, I remember one of the first, like, SoundCloud edits I put out, the Ahi track with like the trumpet sample. So sick. You know, I played a live stream and I played the whole set, and my grandfather watched the whole thing, called me afterwards. He's like, hey, I really liked that song with the trumpet sample, the one that went dun dun dun, and I was like, Papa, that's my song. And he was like, no way. That's crazy. That was great. Wow. So he can, like, pick out, like, you know, those instruments and, like, those influences, which is cool. Yeah. But it wasn't until recently I played a headline show in Columbus, my hometown. That was June 18th maybe. Mm-hmm. And since it was the hometown show, like, I had kids that I grew up with. Yes. I had, you know, my college friends that were just 2 hours out. You know, so like, this show is packed. And I was like, dude, I literally need my grandparents at the show. Yes. I need my parents. I need my sister. Yeah. I need my dad, mom. Yeah. Aunt. Like, I wanted everybody there. Let's go. So that, like, they came, and it was like 12:30 or 12:15. I was about to go on. Mm-hmm. You know, my whole extended family comes through the back. My 80-year-old grandparent, 85? 80-year-old grandparents come in, like, in this dark, loud club, and they kind of got to watch me do my thing, and it was the most incredible feeling ever. And I'll show you the picture afterwards.
Yes,
dude, it warmed my heart like so much. And you could tell like after that they were like, wow, like
we get it.
You have to. One thing that my grandma said was like, you have to feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to like really be there to understand like why. Yeah, which is so true. And yeah, I mean, that was just the most incredible night ever. Like, to look out and see kids I grew up with, college friends,
everybody going
and
hard,
my extended fucking family.
Yes,
I was just like, dude, what is happening? This is crazy.
Wow.
But it was super insane, and
sounds like it made it real for you too, though.
Yeah, it really
did. It wasn't
did.
just them saying, "Oh, damn, like this is him." It was you being like, "Oh shit, this is me."
100%, yeah. And, like, you can relate to this, too. Like, every artist has their, like, doubts, their imposter syndromes, their weeks, months where they're not feeling it or they, can't write a ton of new stuff. So it was definitely inspiring to be like, wow, this is kind of like what I do now. And
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
And it happens, and it's so strange. But when it does happen, you're like, all right, I'm doing something right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that's so special, dude.
Yeah, it was really special.
Thanks for sharing that story.
I'll show you the picture afterward, because like.
What are your grandparents' names?
Anne and Howard.
Anne and Howard.
Yeah.
Nice Jewish Westerville Jews.
Yeah. Dude, the best people on planet Earth.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And you dropped all your music, didn't you?
Yep. Yeah, dropped a lot of it. Yeah. There's one.
You got some good tunes.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
You know that?
So do you, though.
No.
Yeah.
You got more tunes than me. I'm a podcaster, okay?
True, but you're pretty multifaceted, and it's impressive. It shows.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying. I'm
That's
also
awesome.
a freight broker, if anybody needs their freight.
Hey, there you go. Shameless plug.
Yeah.
Sponsored by.
Sponsored by. Jesus, man. Well, listen, real quick. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers, man.
Cheers to you in
Cheers.
general. Cheers to all your success.
Absolutely.
It
Thank
was
you,
an
brother.
absolute pleasure just running through your discography, and I've listened to all of your releases in the past. I'm trying to remember when I first discovered you. Honestly, I think Flynn sent me one of your tracks sometime in 2020, and I was just like, okay, damn, like, who is this kid? And been a fan ever since, been following you ever since, and just going back through your music over the past 2 weeks, because we had set this up, and thanks for booking in advance, by the way. I appreciate that. And showing up on time.
Early.
Yeah. And with a crowd.
And with the crowd. Yeah.
Well,
My entourage.
Yeah, it's usually never a crowd.
I gotta stay safe, dude. I'm telling you, walking through these streets, like, people come up to me, like, bother me. Like,
right, oh my god.
So I gotta have, people that slide with me.
Oh my god, that's a legend. But I do want to ask you about some of your releases, bro, because a lot of people that watch this podcast are really, really interested in, like, learning about your inspiration for it, your creative process in the studio. So I want to ask about Keep You Moving, because was this your first label release then? What was the first label release?
First label release was Groovy Bone.
Groovy Bone.
Out of Charlotte, Disco. Yeah.
Right.
So that was the first real song that ended up getting signed, which was super crazy.
Yeah? How'd that feel?
Felt insane. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know, like, what a label really, like, what that was. I just remember thinking, like, oh my god, like, a record label releases this music. Yeah. And then, like, through some music friends, you realize, like, labels are great platforms. They throw parties. Mm-hmm. They, can get your music to a promo list that you may not be able to reach, which is great. Cool art. Yeah. Proof of concept, like a nice master, is cool. Yeah. And that was just a really cool experience, because it was like, awesome. Again, one of those, like, check boxes where it's like, all right, maybe I'm doing something right here. It's a validation moment. Yeah, so that was a really cool opportunity. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. And you've had so many great labels too. I mean, Nonstop, Get Twisted, Night Service Only, OKNF, Level, which is part of Create Music Group, Solotoko, Techne. Yeah. Thanks for giving back to the SoundCloud community too. We're going to talk about those. You're a giver. You're a giver. You're a nice Ohio guy.
I know. I am. Really.
The free download, baby. We appreciate that.
Dude, free download is a beautiful thing, and
real fans.
Yeah, seriously. And, even as a consumer of free downloads, like, I love supporting those, like, download gate steps. Like, follow on Spotify, follow on Instagram. Like, I love that. That's great. And through that. And, like, having Ahi being posted on, like, the Blanc YouTube page, like...
Oh, really?
That was, like, a huge driver in, like, initial, like, traffic to, like, my Instagram page and SoundCloud and stuff. Like, right. Which is, that was like really
That
cool.
organic growth is so huge, man.
Insane, yeah.
So huge. It's awesome. But I mean, it's like I said, it was awesome running through your music because I'm interested to know more about where you at creatively, especially knowing you were producing a lot of this stuff during the pandemic.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you were listening to a lot of different music because you look at a track like "Keep You Moving" with Brooklyn Method.
Yeah.
We gotta give a shout out to him.
Oh, the homies.
This is like new disco tribal, but also traditional house, like all mixed in one.
So yeah, Brooklyn Method.
Crazy
dudes
track, dude.
are
It really
legends.
is.
Yeah, shout out to Forrest and Michael.
Forrest and Michael, okay.
So these dudes are goats. And
Yeah.
So they have a band called Clubhouse. I don't know if you heard of them. Really good music, like alternative, kind of like synth poppy, like really cool stuff.
Okay.
Spotify really supports their tunes.
Awesome.
They're out in they just moved out to California, like record labels hooking them up, like recording, doing music videos. Like they're really crushing it.
Wow.
But Forrest and Michael, crazy producers in Ableton of electronic music.
Oh God.
And Brooklyn Method is kind of their like little house like duo side project.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean we just linked up and it was just so easy to work. And
Yeah.
I sent them like the initial idea, drums, groove. I think I had the bass line in there. And they kind of added those like vocals, nice little synthy pads, and we just
It's a juicy track.
it's a juicy track. Yeah,
I love it.
Thank you.
I love it, man. And your Lights Up remix, which is so sick by Darko. Casual 265,000 plays on Spotify,
yeah,
too.
it did well.
Shit fucking popped.
Yeah.
Let's hear this shit pop right now. This is Lights Up by Darko in the MUUS remix. This one too, like you continue this groovy vibe. The vocals were great, obviously. But I want to ask you, like, as a producer, when you do a remix, were you asked to do this remix, or how did that actually come about?
Yeah, I was. West End actually hooked me up. Shout out Tyler.
Let's go!
Yeah, he was actually a big mentor. Still is early on though. Like he really helped put my music in front of some important people.
Yeah,
which is insane.
That's great.
That's the reason why I was able to sign OK and FEP, which is great, and then into Nonstop, which kind of got me into kind of that space of
Cut Above,
Solotoko, Techne, kind of all those.
Yeah, because they're all under the same marketing agency.
Label management.
Yep.
So now I have a relationship with it. It was great. Whatever.
Right.
Tyler was
mad props,
dude. Tyler's great.
I'm gonna have him on soon, man. He
awesome.
Up so much.
Yeah, dude. Awesome, dude. And kind of, I was actually, so I did a one-on-one session with him back when the pandemic started.
Nice.
I was actually the first one that hit him up on Instagram, like, bro, do you do like lessons at all?
Wow.
Because I felt like I was confident in where I was at production-wise, but I wanted to see like what are the professionals doing? Like what are the pros doing that are releasing on my favorite labels? Like what's that next like 15%?
Yeah.
So through that, I was able to kind of have a connection with him, and he showed me a lot of cool stuff, and to this day still have a relationship, and he's the man. And
wow,
every couple months I get to see him and hang out, and it's really cool.
Good to see him crushing it.
Dude, smashing it, literally smashing it.
He's on absolute fire right now.
He deserves it. He
Proud
works
to see
very hard. Yeah.
So when you are making a remix though, what's your actual process like as compared to maybe just an original? Because you have the vocals, right?
Yeah, I mean and those kind of like I like doing remixes because you don't have to kind of like dig for that like inspiration because it kind of is already there. It kind of sparks, right?
Right.
So like for me, like I love having like a session open with an 8-bar loop running. I have my keyboard with like a key or like a bass line or something. Yeah. And I'll just play that until I kind of like find notes that I like and just like really kind of get into that like zone of it. I find that it's like a lot more difficult to write stuff out in MIDI sometimes just because like it's kind of hard to like really get into like that like groove of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's like very important. I mean, we're making dance music, like we're making music that we want to play at a show or
Right.
a club, party, whatever.
Right.
And I just love like, you know, having my keyboard over here and just like dinking around on that until I find something that I really like.
Yeah.
And then through that a remix really just writes itself, you know, like once you get some banging drums, arrange that shit out and white noise and you're done.
That's it. That's all it is, guys. That's all you got to do.
But for originals, I find it's a lot harder.
Oh yeah.
And especially, you know, when I was over the pandemic, it was just a fever dream of just like production, and I was just cooking every single day, just like coming up with like original concepts. It was great. And since the world has kind of opened up, I've been kind of dealing with it, like this kind of new balance of life where stuff's open. You know, every once in a while I go play shows on the weekends.
Right.
And sometimes I find it hard to kind of come back to the studio on Monday morning and kind of like really dive into you know making music.
Right.
And you know it's something that I think every producer struggles with, but you know I try and I think coming into a session like with kind of a general idea of what you want to do is like very important.
Definitely.
Because I remember like sometimes like when I remember really struggling coming up with stuff was when you know you just have a blank canvas and you don't really know what to do because
It's stressful.
and Ableton is endless possibilities. Like,
Yeah.
there are a million decisions a minute that you could make, you know?
So true.
So I find that if I can come in with like even like a one sample that I love, like a hat sample where I'm like, oh, it's fucking crispy. Or like a kick, or even just like a bass one shot.
Yeah.
Or like one vocal.
Mm-hmm.
That is enough for me to have kind of a direction.
Okay.
And after that, you just kind of just ride off like the high of that.
Something happens.
Yeah.
That's how you spark it, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting.
So having a direction is very important, or else it's very easy to just like stare and just start dragging in random samples, and just like next thing you know, you're like, I don't know
Not
about
interested.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. You just mentioned OKNF. The Say Something EP. Let's check out this absolute banger from MUUS. This one's called Say Something on OKNF. Lights Up hit plays, but this one hit the top 3 spot on Beatport Track House.
It did.
And there's a difference I think we know between doing really well on Beatport and maybe just doing really well on Spotify, and there's successes in and of themselves. If you do really well on Beatport, that means that motherfuckers are buying that
it
track
to play it, yeah.
and playing it out.
Absolutely.
And dude, it's so sick because this is where we finally hear, not finally hear, but we hear this new sound from you, like the trumpet, the vocal chop, the bouncy bassline groove. Like, you're starting to kind of come into the sound that we hear now.
That EP was definitely like, I'm gonna remember it forever because that was like I was like 2 tracks that I love, and that was like the first one where I still listen back and I'm like, that production's pretty good.
Let's
like,
go.
Yeah.
Complimenting yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because and trust me, I don't compliment myself a lot because pretty much everything that I make I fucking hate. Not actually, but like, you know,
I know
every producer can relate to that. But you know, I still listen to that one and I'm like, wow, not bad. Like,
it's so dope.
And yeah, it was cool to kind of get on with that team. And shout out to Clem out in New York, Brooklyn.
Yep.
I was able to meet them a couple weeks back in Brooklyn when I played with Sid in Brooklyn.
Yes.
At his night
told me
service
about
party,
that.
and yeah, I mean,
How sick was that?
Great guys, yeah. But yeah, OKNF's awesome, and that was like the first like big EP where I was just like super confident into kind of where I was going for the rest of the year.
For sure.
You know, because I had some stuff lined up, and I was still writing every single day, and
yeah.
It was really special for sure.
And this was your first EP. Well, Push That Sound
Yeah.
DJ Susan says it best, bro. No fucking B-sides for a good producer. No B-sides on Hood Politics, but no B-sides if you're a good producer because both tracks are always amazing.
Sure.
Was this intended to be an EP, or like did you have to push that sound together?
To be honest, no. And I was another shout out to West End as well, because I really didn't know how to approach like the whole label thing. Like, I didn't really know how to send tracks really, so I kind of like seeked help there. I remember this is super embarrassing, but the first batch of songs I ever sent out to a label, labels, I put a couple songs in a SoundCloud folder or a playlist, I think.
Right.
And I sent it to, I spent a few hours like finding labels. Probably had a list of like 35 to 50 labels.
Right.
And I just put them all in like BCC, like sent to 35 to 50 labels all at the same time. Which, if you know anything about how it works, that's like not.
They know that you did that.
So yeah, I had no idea what I was doing.
Right.
Somebody responded and they were like, "Hey man, we really like these tracks. Like, we want to sign one or two. I forget." And I boneheadedly responded, "Hey, thanks, man. I'm waiting to hear back from a few more labels, but I'll let you know."
Fuck.
And looking back, I'm just like, God, like, what are you doing?
Oh, man.
And he basically responded back like, hey,
That's not how you...
we don't do that.
Yeah.
It's actually very disrespectful, this, that.
Yeah.
And I felt so bad, dude. I was like, responding back. I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. Like, these are the first tracks I've ever sent out to a label. I'm very sorry. I don't know really how this industry works yet much.
Oh,
like,
God.
my bad. And he was honest. He was like, all right, man, no problem, whatever. And that was a learning moment.
Oh,
but,
my God.
Something you got to learn, I guess. But
there you go.
yeah, so I sent them a couple tunes, and I think the 2 tunes, and they were like, let's just make it an EP, and I was like,
perfect.
Cool.
There you go.
And I like say something as the A side. I mean, no B sides, of course. But
you have to organize them A and B.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess at the time I was like, oh, well, say something is definitely like the bigger track. Make that the A side, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, I love that, man.
For sure.
And it's great. It's something to be proud of.
Yeah.
I'm proud that you're proud of it.
Thank you.
It's good. It is a download to the USB, bro.
Hell yeah.
Now this one is incredible. Your nonstop freak EP, and you also did Just Like That, 2 EPs with them.
Yeah.
And Just Like That is your most recent release, of course.
Yep.
But I gotta say, like, you have a similar sound here with this label, and freak EP, bro, is fucking nuts, man. You blend techno with tech house with some minimal, like, you get it all grouped in there, dude.
Yeah.
When I was listening through this one and really, really listening, I kind of like realized like you definitely have this Green Velvet type vibe a little bit.
Whoa.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like an educated sound.
Yeah.
But with a very modern take, since
Yeah,
you're younger in the game, bro. Like you listen and hear things differently.
Yeah.
You maybe haven't experienced things the same way as like Green Velvet.
Yeah.
But,
dude, I appreciate that. That means a lot, because I've always like kind of wanted my sound to kind of like teeter the lines between like, really timeless, good, old school, more minimal stuff with that kind of new school sound,
right?
That is kind of taking over right now, and I appreciate that. And I think my sound's kind of it's still evolving, like it's kind of going from like that bigger, kind of more like techno-y influence into more like more like minimal grooves, but kind of like teetering the line between like that more commercial sound.
Yeah, it's a minimal groove.
It's right where I want to sit. I if I could have it my way, I want my music to be respected from like the Michael Bibbies of the world to like the Chris Lakes of the world.
Yes.
I want both of them to be able to hear it and be like, all right, like respect. Class, good.
I like
even
that.
if it's not going to be on a Solid Grooves or it's not going to be on a Black Book, it's going to be like, this is a good song.
I like that. And that's a really good way to think about it, too. That's actually very mature of you to think, like, I want to try and blend these styles together. Because I think a lot of people, their biggest strength and weakness is, like, this is my sound, I have to box myself in.
Yeah.
But never do that.
No.
Never
and
have to.
One thing I will say is I've probably learned the most production-wise when I've experimented with different genres.
Absolutely.
Dude, I've made...
That's when it's fun, too.
Yeah. I took a electronic music class in college.
Wow.
And I was kind of saucy with Ableton already. So instead of... I needed a free credit. I'm a shit student. Well, I'm not a shit student, but I just needed to graduate.
Yes.
And yeah, that's a different story. But I was like, okay, I could blow this class off.
Right.
But I was like, I really want to like take the time to like make shit I like normally wouldn't.
Yeah.
So I was making like drum and bass and like break beats and like hard techno with like reverb bass and like. Dude, you learn so much more when you kind of step out of like what's comfortable and just make random shit for fun.
Right.
And then you can take those concepts and infuse them into like, okay, whatever your sound is.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you know, the style becomes yours. You know, you kind of create like a sound or whatever you want to call it.
Absolutely.
So I can't recommend that enough, dude. Like, to whoever's like listening, just make different shit. Like,
totally.
For sure. Because too, like, I think now too, like, now it's it's easier than ever to, download a copy of Ableton.
Yep.
90-day free trial.
Yep.
$7.99 a month on Splice.
Right.
Download Tool Room Academy.
Yep.
And you just start dragging loops in, right?
Totally.
And that's a great way to learn, and that's how you should learn.
Yeah.
And I still use those loops, but in
Yeah.
in a way where you can kind of sample them and
Right.
take elements, whatever.
Yeah, of course.
But that's how I think a sound gets totally played out and totally washed. And I think, I think Tech House is kind of going through that right now.
Mm-hmm.
But what gives me hope is like the quality of production is just incredible. I listen to so much and like,
dude,
like music that is so well done
it's crisp.
that I just think, and I'm mostly speaking to myself. Like I'm really focused on like digging deep into like my soul of like how I'm creating like this music to make it like undeniably like me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's like my main focus. And I will say this, like, 2020 I cranked out music.
Yeah.
Cranked it out like once a month, EPs, every remix, whatever, everything.
For sure, bro.
And I don't regret any of that. It was serious. If I hadn't have done that, like, that allowed 2021 to kind of open up doors in terms of,
definitely,
management opportunities and playing shows out of town and connecting with, the SIDs of the world,
Yeah.
And, but I'm really kind of taking a step back and focusing on, quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be more happy with where I'm at. Like, I thought not having a ton of music scheduled for the back half of 2021 would hurt, and it would make me anxious. But honestly, like, I feel so like content with like where I'm at right now because I'm still like working every day.
Right.
Developing kind of like different sounds and like really spending time on this kind of new wave of music that is coming.
Mm-hmm.
But when, I don't know. But I'm just having fun, just like sitting in that like discomfort and uncertainty, and just like really making music that kind of like comes to me.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it feels good. I'm finally. Yeah, I genuinely like appreciate all the music that I've put out, and it means so much to me. But the stuff that I feel like I'm working on right now, it just feels so right in my soul. And it's coming.
God damn.
It's coming.
I'm sweating again.
I tend to have that effect on men.
Nah. Fuck.
But
That's a comedian.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
So I'm feeling good, and like, I was in Cincinnati for 5 years. It was an incredible few years of my life, but kind of by the end of it, after the pandemic, after living in the same place for a while, I was like so just kind of like tired and searching for kind of new inspiration. It was hard to find, especially moving is a bitch, and the logistics of that, and graduating college. There's a lot.
Right.
But now that I'm here and settled, moved in, I can finally just like breathe and like really kind of like step into this new chapter.
Yes.
Of where I'm at in my life, which is being a post grad guy in a big city with his best friends and meeting so many cool people every day, and like dude, it's just gonna be great. I'm so happy and excited.
Well, it's awesome. It's clear that you found like what you're most passionate in life. This is not just snowboarding again to you, right?
Yeah,
like,
man.
This is literally like you coming into your own and feeling that.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, they go their whole life, especially like our parents' generation, our grandparents' generation, like maybe knowing what they wish they would have done, but conforming to society or whatever, and you're literally just fucking chasing it right here, right now, because this is what you love.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it, 100%.
I respect the fuck out of that.
Thank you, man.
I really do.
Thank you so much.
I really do. Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, I want to talk about a certified MUUS classic, bro.
All right.
Get Twisted, Dangerous with alltalk.
Talk. Zach, legend, bro.
Jesus, dude. I mean, I love how this track, like, just, it moves you. Let's hear this one move you. This one's called Dangerous by alltalk and MUUS on Get Twisted.
Dangerous, no, I don't back down. 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 Leave your heart laying on the ground. Tell me who wouldn't kill it now. Turn it up.
It's a mover, it's a groover.
Yeah.
And the bass line shines without a doubt, but I think what's so cool about this track is actually the drums and the percussion, because you guys build it and break it down like so many different times, and you do have like this minimal groove throughout it, and vocals like really carry everything.
It's nice, yeah.
But it's super entertaining on like all different levels of sound, man.
Thank you.
What I mean? Like I feel like I'm listening. I don't know. You guys mix this track so well. Like it was like you hear it all at the same time.
Thank you.
So the layering was primo. But there was something special about this. I think probably when you were making it, you're like, this
for
is
sure.
different. Did you feel it?
Oh, yeah, for sure. So, Zach and I, shout out to Zach, sick
Yeah.
producer,
All
awesome
talk,
tunes.
baby.
He sent me, well, we were like, we want to work on some tunes together, for sure. And we were kind of back and forth with a few. He sent me that with the vocal and kind of a rough bass line.
Okay.
And I was like, bro, send it to me. And I think I like wrapped it up like that night, like one of those songs that just like builds itself, and those are the best. Like
That doesn't happen.
I'm telling you,
Not all
like
the time.
I feel like some of the best music that I've like produced and put out, it's like in 24 hours, it's pretty much done. Tweaks,
Sure.
finishing touches,
Yeah.
but it's always there. Like usually, if I'm spending like weeks on a track, it's just like never gonna kind of find whatever, find me or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, he sent me that, and I was like, bro,
This is it.
send me that. So we finished that, and we finished Connection, and we kind of had those two together in a playlist to like send out.
I was gonna ask.
And we
These
were
were
like,
the same
do we want
time.
to do an EP? Do we want to do whatever?
Right.
And then I forget which one got signed first, but they ended up kind of going their separate ways. But
Yeah.
we were super happy with those tunes.
It's an awesome track, man.
Thank you.
And as like I said to you before the interview, people just listen to it right now, so they know exactly what the fuck we're talking about. It's a special one.
Turn it up.
It's awesome. Turn it up. So we got to talk about this one, of course. So, I mean, I'm talking about all your tracks, but this one I gotta really make note. Night Service Only. We mentioned Sid 1, 2.
Yeah.
Just interviewed Sid, and anytime anybody has a label, I gotta ask, what do you look for in a demo? He gave the shortest and sweetest answer ever. If I won't play it in my sets, I won't sign it.
Yeah, I saw that clip.
And I'm literally just like, right when I listened to this, because I had heard it before, but after hearing that and listening to it again, I was like, right, that was an immediate yes. Let's hear why this was an immediate yes. This one's called 1, 2 by MUUS off Sid's Night Service Only.
One, two. One, two. One, two.
Yeah.
And dude, I mean, I think we both know the significance of his role in the community and him giving a platform to house music, just in general, especially up and coming producers,
Yeah,
bro. And
dude, insane.
he's a big fan of you, bro.
Yeah, what he's doing to support up and coming producers is absolutely
Nuts.
incredible. And I actually have a really good story about Sid too.
Yeah.
When we were at Bonnaroo it was actually that summer I was in New York.
Yeah.
So we drove from New York all the way across
Oh
Ohio.
shit.
down to Tennessee. It was like a 12-hour journey. But we had to go to Bonnaroo because we go to Bonnaroo every year.
Yep.
And so we were at Bonnaroo that year, and we were, Sid was playing.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't, and that's when I was like really getting into like, electronic production. I knew his music. I knew his big songs.
Yeah.
And it was like a daytime set, like 4 p.m. And Kate and I were watching the set, and we had a blast.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just like looking up there. I remember being so inspired. I just remember being like, dude, this is so sick. Like it wasn't like it was a great set, and there was a lot of people there, but it was like the daytime. It wasn't like crazy production. It wasn't like the nighttime yet when shit gets weird.
Right.
But I just remember being like, dude, that is what I want to do. Like,
yes.
That is sick. And I remember she looked at me and she was like, that's going to be you one day.
Yes, it will.
And fast forward, when 1-2 came about and we connected on like Instagram DM, it was just like craziness,
Yeah,
like,
dude.
It was just a crazy one of the first like big full circle moments that happened. I was like, damn, like literally 2 years ago or a year and a half ago at the time, I was looking up you at Bonnaroo, and just like thinking like,
you told him the story?
Yeah.
Oh, he probably loved that.
And I remember too, it was Father's Day. It was Father's Day during the set, and I remember it was his dad's birthday.
Okay.
Because Father's Day is in. No, it was Father's Day because it was June. It was Father's Day because it was June.
Okay.
And he FaceTimed his dad like mid set and was like, Bonnaroo, like. I don't know.
This is my dad.
On 3 Happy Father's Day or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was just like, cool, and I'll never forget that. And I told him that story too. I was like, dude, at Bonnaroo, you FaceTimed your dad, and I was inspired as shit, and that was dope, and this is great.
He's a big family guy.
Yeah, dude, and just the nicest dude on the planet. Like
He really is.
Literally the nicest dude on the planet. We met him, a couple weeks back in Brooklyn, and or actually no, we met him for the first time. He came through Columbus for a show, and I was still up there at the time.
Nice.
And we hung out, got a drink before he played his set. We chilled, and it was just the nicest guy ever.
He's a G.
Just the nicest guy. And
I
then
just saw him play at Lala, and he absolutely smashed.
Murdered
I
it,
had a similar thing. I was just watching him, and he was just dropping bombs.
Dude, and I was watching videos, and that shit was packed. Like, what was that? It was during the day. It was like
I
midday.
told him, like, he was like, I never played Lala, like, how's the set time? I'm like, dude, Saturday, 3:30.
Gonna smash it.
People are ready.
Yeah. And those videos gave me chills.
I know, and I actually have so many videos I haven't sent him yet.
Really?
But he was dropping so much unreleased shit.
Yeah.
I was like Shazamming every track. I was like, is this night
doesn't
service
exist
only?
yet.
What is this, bro? And then he messaged me after. He was like, I played so much unreleased music, actually.
That dude writes hits. Like
he's coming
simple
into a
as
new
that.
layer of Sid right now.
He really is, yeah. And that dude's an inspiration.
He is.
Because and he's doing so much cool stuff just outside of touring on the weekends. He's doing some really cool stuff with the label. Working with like CBS, doing like deals with that. Like that's just
He's
like
not the average guy.
Career musician. I mean, dude,
He's
got 2 Grammys.
Yeah, he does.
That's craziness. I mean,
So casual.
crazy.
I know. He's awesome.
So cool.
I got nothing but love and respect for that guy, man.
Carlos is the guy.
He is. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Shout out you, Sid. What up, bro? Awesome. We'll send him this clip. We love you. You're biggest fans.
Yeah.
Awesome though, dude. Yeah. Fuck yeah. It's a great
Yeah.
track too. That's another
Thank you.
add to the USB.
Yeah, that song is another one where I look back and I'm like, I fucking like that
Did it.
song. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Can't say the same for all of them. That's just my internal battles as a music producer, but I do like that song.
Come on, bro. We're about to talk the Solotoko release. This is a belter.
Thank you.
Nice solo release called Focus.
Yep.
Okay, this is one I want to actually break down from a sound design perspective because we hear that unique bouncy bass line that you kind of do in this minimal groove way, like you explained.
Yep.
But I also really hear like a gritty rolling bass line, like a little bit of a Solardo type influence.
Yeah, definitely.
How are you actually layering your bass sounds? Like, are you have multiple, like there's extended midis with like a fade on them, or like what are you doing?
I know a lot of people do that where they kind of split up bass into top and sub. I don't do that. I don't think I've ever done that.
Are you just side chaining? Like
maybe once, yeah. Just side chain the hell out of it.
Yeah.
I've been using a compressor more than I have like Kickstart or anything as of recent.
That's what Flynn and I do. Is there a compressor in Ableton, just like a built-in?
Yeah. What do you use, Kickstart?
It's not on a bass line. We use the compressor like through
I do that.
Logic.
Yeah.
just like Kickstart's good.
Kickstart's fine.
I feel like you can't get a good tech house bass line with Kickstart, bro. Do you?
Yeah, I agree. Because I think you're limited with like the shape of the sidechain. Right?
Exactly.
And depending on your kick and depending on like how you want like the bass to kind of cut through, I can be so much more precise with a compressor because I can get like the attack and release just to where I want it, so I can get that nice like fade just depending on.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, I do that, and then I think that bass line was, Serum, or Operator. Or, to be honest with you, as of recent, and probably not in those older productions, but I've been using a lot of like bass samples in a simpler. I use simpler like crazy.
No way.
There's so many good samples out there. There's a lot of really shitty samples out there, but I'll use like if I have a bass loop and there's like one part that I like or like one like hit that I like.
Yeah.
I'll pop that into a simpler, put it on one shot mode, and kind of put this to the markers where I want. And I'll just use that.
Okay.
And I find that you can have some really cool happy accidents happen.
Yeah.
Because sometimes in a loop, it goes like, doom, doom. And then like in your MIDI, depending on how you write it, sometimes you can get those cool like syncopated hits that already exist in the loop.
Right.
Technically you didn't like write it.
Right.
If that makes sense.
No, yeah. Hey.
Sometimes just weird shit happens. And I've really been like experimenting with that because I think, writing a bass line in Serum gets like a little stale.
Yeah.
And I think like when I listen to like really minimal stuff, like solid groove stuff or like Pasa shit or like Night Funk, perfect example.
Yeah.
Something about those bass lines or the sub elements are different, Like they're not Serum.
No, they're not.
Well, they might kind of be. Well, I don't know. I know that a lot of the like solid groove stuff, like do you know that song "Beat" by Endor?
Yes.
To the beat.
Yes.
Listen to that like really loud. Like I don't like something's happened under there that feels so much more like interesting and gritty and nasty. And
Totally.
just, like, dirty than just like a do 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 do.
No,
you know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean.
Hard
to explain.
Yeah, so. Focus was definitely like Serum or something like that. But when I do like in some of the newer stuff, I've really been trying to experiment with like really just random shit that can like instead of having like one bass line, like I'll have like a tom that kind of works with like a bass one shot that also works with like
a
percussion and all that together kind of adds to like.
So you're not relying on just the bass line itself.
Yeah, I know.
So you're using other samples with a low end sound in there.
Definitely. Toms are great.
Yeah.
And I have so many random sample packs that have so many different elements in them, and you can really dig and find some awesome stuff. I will say though, there's a lot of bad samples out there. There's a lot of really bad samples, and I think it definitely takes time to train your ear on like what's good and what's bad.
Right.
But I feel like just now I'm even getting to a point where I can listen to a sample and be like, that's not good.
Yeah.
There's some really harsh frequencies in there. It's way over compressed.
Right.
Or some really, I don't know. It's just like if I listen to a song and it just sounds like somebody played it on a drum set, I'm just like so impressed. Like open hats. Like.
Yeah. I love that.
Like that, I don't know, like, I'm super anal about, like, open hat sounds, and when I hear one that's just, like just smooth as hell, I'm just
good.
Like, that's nice. So, I don't know, I think, there's a lot of really good samples out there, there's a lot of really bad samples out there, but there's a lot of samples out there, so there's so much of an opportunity to resample things into your own, and take a kick and make it your bass line, or, take a percussion or a high tom and drop it 3 octaves and make it like a bass one shot, like there's just a lot to do.
It's unlimited possibilities. I'm totally blanking on what the sampler is, but my buddy has one and he was showing it to me, and it just is like all these different types of authentic sounds that they've really recorded.
Cool.
And I was just like so taken back.
A VST or a sample pack?
I think it's a VST actually. I need to find out the name because I was like immediately like I have to get this.
Yeah.
But it was like some like Caribbean pack within it, right? And they has like this bongo drum, and he was like, all right, let's take this fucking bongo drum and then like let's pitch it down.
Yeah.
And then like let's add another one and like pitch it 4 octaves down.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what the fuck is this sound, dude?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it still has that authentic feel to it.
And yeah, I think it's a cool moment when you realize, like, especially when you're, like, earlier in the production, like, process, is, like, there's rules, sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And there's, like, guides to follow, and I think that when you're learning, it's important to learn those rules. But once you know the rules, there's no rules.
Yeah.
You know? Like, you can do whatever you want. And, like, the
my
producers
gosh.
that are breaking the rules, they're writing hits. And they're writing really good music, you
Chris,
know?
like...
Yeah. Dude, what the fuck, man? That guy's just a genius, though. Like, I don't know. It's unfair.
It's unfair. It's unfair. We love you, Chris Lake.
Yeah.
That's an awesome track, though, bro. Congrats on
Thank
releasing
you.
on Solotoko.
Thank you.
But I want to finish with one you talked about earlier, connection with alltalk on Techne. Shout out to Noizu, too, who's doing really cool things, just the same as Sid. I don't know if you've heard of Local Singles in Cloverdale before.
Dude, yeah.
Love those
are
guys.
crazy, yeah.
Their track, Ill Provide, is so
Crushing
dope.
it, yeah. Smashing the
They're
charts.
crushing it. And, like, you know, somebody like Noizu who really is, like, coming into his own in terms of fame right now, right? Like, that guy can sell out anywhere.
Dude.
He's doing amazing things and giving a platform to people. And your track Connection, bro, like, the boys are fucking back in town with this one, man.
Come on now, you gotta check this one out because the boys are back in town. This one's called Connection by MUUS and alltalk off MUUS Techne.
Everything with you feels so right. Everything with you feels so right.
And
Thank you.
this one, again, like, the build-up here is so fucking sick. And then, it's my favorite track of yours, I decided, by the way, today. I listened to it again.
I love that. That's awesome.
It's kind of comes out of nowhere a little bit, you
Yeah,
know? Like,
it was a little different.
Yeah.
A little different, yeah.
You expect sort of, call it a traditional tech house song.
Yeah.
But you get that minimal groove going, bro.
Yeah.
And again, it's a super educated sound, man.
Thank you. I think, yeah, that was one of the first songs where I kind of really was digging into kind of these new concepts that I'm, like, kind of still exploring right now. You know, like, I remember when I was making, like, the clap, like, the snare, like, the, you know, 2/4 clap. I was like, all right, I'm not going to use this 909 sample that I've been using all the time. I'm going to go find this crazy, like, drum. Like, I typed, like, drum and, like, into, like, you know, Ableton, and then you search, and, like, I really wanted it to be more of, like, a snare.
Yeah.
I wanted it to sound more of, like, a drum set snare instead of, like, a tech house clap.
Yes.
And just, like, that alone, I feel like gives, like, the track so much more, like, of its own character, you know? And, yeah.
You were like a fucking... You guys were literally a Michelin star chef with that sound, dude. It was like... This is different.
Yeah.
I love it. Like, I've tasted something like it.
Yeah.
But this was made fresh.
That's a good song.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah. It's actually funny that how that track came to be. There was actually a previous vocal on it.
No way.
Yeah, that we were trying to get cleared, but couldn't end up getting cleared. It wasn't a very well-known sample, but it was not owned by us. Ended up not getting cleared, so I remember...
oh, that's frustrating.
Yeah, we sent the sample around, and, you know, we got the email like, hey, Noisy wants to sign Connection. We were just like, what, dude, that's crazy. And I remember, you know, we were going back and forth in the email, and they're like, hey, we can't sign it because, you know, they're not going to clear the publishing. And I was just, like, heartbroken. I was just like, no,
God.
bro. I was like, no. Like, so I remember I stayed up for probably 72 hours, Zach and I, trying to, like, figure out what we were going to do. And
oh, no.
we ended up getting something resung. And then, you know, sometimes if you can re-sing a vocal, they'll clear the publishing. So it ended up not being able to work. So then we were like, fuck, what are we going to do? Ended up finding, you know, the sample that's on it now, and it ended up working really well. But
it's still really good.
Yeah, no, it totally turned out, like, awesome, and we're super happy with how it finished. But yeah, there's a few days there where you're just like, bro, we literally aren't going to get this release because the vocal. But
can you tell us what vocal it was?
It was kind of honestly kind of a bonehead mistake on our end. It was a defected acapella that I think I found it on my computer, but
Yeah.
I think I might have downloaded it off a Beatport. You know how sometimes you can like have
Totally.
like, get acapellas?
Yeah.
So when I heard it, I was like, holy shit, this is fucking perfect.
Yeah.
And then when we went to, when you're in the process of signing a track, you're like, all right, what are the samples? Is it cleared? Whatever. So when I went back to look, it was an Afaya track.
Fuck. Did you know who Afaya really is, or used to be?
Michael Woods.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know Back at Me?
Yeah.
The artist?
Yeah.
So Back at Me used to be his tour manager. Yeah, they both are from the same city in England. England?
Yeah. Yeah, he's British.
Yeah. And that was before he started Back at Me, and then I think he's out of Las Vegas.
Wow.
Now, doing DJ stuff. But yeah, that's how he kind of got his start. He was his tour manager.
No shit.
The only reason I know that is because I listened to a podcast with Back at Me.
There you go. And you got clout.
Yeah. Yeah, Fi is sick.
Yeah, Fi is sick.
And the tune that we used, the song came out in like 2018, and like fair, like the song kind of just came out in the grand scheme of things, and they were like, yeah, it's not gonna work, but whatever.
Well, I'm glad they still took
it. It turned out all right.
What do you think is your most favorite track you've ever released, regardless of success or streams or downloads?
Yeah. I think I could agree with you on Connection, just because I feel like that song, like when I listen to it, it doesn't sound like just all of the others, It kinda
for sure.
Kind of has an interesting, like, kind of grit to it.
Right.
But definitely 1-2 is up there as well. I mean, I definitely love that song, and I love playing it, and it always goes off, and the story behind it too is super super nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, I don't know. I like those two, but
it's a good fucking track.
The best is definitely yet to come for sure. And
what about your Find Your Love Drake remix though?
Oh my god, it's a good one.
It's really good, dude.
Yeah.
I went SoundCloud mining.
Wow.
I always gotta check the SoundCloud, bro.
Yeah.
I was talking to Susan about that the other day. And he was like, if you can't fucking go into somebody's SoundCloud and they got some edit of some Drake song or some shit like that,
yeah,
they're buying their followers, they're ghost producing.
100%.
And I'm like, that's a fucking fact.
A good. That really is.
It is.
Yeah. That. Yeah.
That's you literally saying, I love this song. I'm gonna remix it. I'm gonna give it out to the people for free, and that's it.
And it works.
No more, no less.
Yeah, and those free downloads were so fun because that was like the first point where you kind of start to like reach outside of like the local like scene, right?
Yes.
Like you're getting an Instagram follower from like Brazil,
right?
And they DM you like, "Yo, bro, like this is sick," and I'm like, "What? What are you saying? That's crazy."
Yeah.
But yeah, Find Your Love, made that with my friend Billy Cave out of Nashville.
Nashville house producer.
That's a fun one, yeah.
Fuck yeah. It was actually it's really interesting, and this kind of leads into my next question. There's so many, markets that are now starting to bring in a house music scene, or maybe they've always been there, but now it's actually being like popularized. Like even in Chicago, dude, the home of house music, up until 2018, 2019, I hate to say it, but losing it, started getting played by big open format DJs.
Oh, I believe it, yeah.
Right?
Oh, dude, are you kidding? I mean, when I was in, like, kind of fully in, like, Greek life at UC, every single frat party, Ohio State as well, I mean, huge school.
Yeah.
Bro, losing it was everywhere.
It's crazy.
Everywhere.
It's crazy.
And, like, yeah, say what you want about the song, but honest to God, like, if it weren't for that, like, would Noise You be tearing up the States?
Nope.
Right now? I don't think so.
Nope. And like cities like Orlando, Columbus, Indianapolis, Nashville, Sacramento, Seattle, Minneapolis,
Nashville too,
Milwaukee, bro. Like, these are cities where you'd have to go. And I've interviewed DJs from all these cities, right? So I speak from experience. So like I asked them this question. Like it's kind of crazy to see where house music is right now. And I don't want to say it's the new EDM. It's not the new Avicii because where we're at right now with production, it's just insane. Yeah. Right?
Is, yeah.
Like David Guetta is an example I like to bring up because he is a G and, he's very popular, of course, one of the most famous DJs of all time.
Yeah.
He started spinning on vinyl records, on songs that were recorded live, right? It's like
Yeah.
a drummer can't be exactly on. And he says today when he plays tracks, like the productions are so fucking tight and big and strong and shit, right?
Yeah, for real.
But they get crazier and crazier.
Yeah.
But you see people like Chris Lake, Sonny Fodera, Fisher, Lane 8, Green Velvet, Nora and Pure, they're bigger than ever.
Yeah.
And I think it's because there's this wave of people that no longer want to jump, they want to dance.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think? What's your perspective?
Dude, 100% agree with that. Like, yeah, absolutely. I think, and granted, I haven't been around for that long. I haven't seen music really evolve in the way that you probably have.
But you're growing up in, like, house music
Absolutely.
booming right now, bro.
So, and yeah, I think it kind of goes through, like, waves, but I do think now, especially with scenes like, Florida and, like, the Space Miamis of the world.
Yeah.
And, like, the parties that are in, Orlando. I think people are kind of itching for more of that, like, they're not really going to, like, do this.
And they
They're
want...
doing, they're just there, and they're, like, feeling it,
Mm-hmm.
And that's really exciting.
Yeah.
Because that's what house music is,
Yep.
Like, and I think a lot of the old heads who maybe, they see the big room thing coming up back in the day, and they're just like, oh, what the fuck is this for on the floor? Garbage. But I think there's, like, a common ground, where, like, music is gonna, everything comes back, like, aviators and, like, trucker hats,
So
like,
true. Flannels,
like
jean shorts. Hopefully soon.
Or else you and I are gonna have a rough summer. There's just a common ground now, and that's kind of like going back to, like, my comment of, like, I want my music to be respected by, like, the greats on every single spectrum.
Absolutely,
because
and they respect originality.
Absolutely, and 100%. So it's beautiful to see, and I'm excited to kind of see where it goes. But one thing I will say too is I feel like I think the industry and the sound is all, being driven by, like, the underground, So, like,
Definitely.
The new producers are really the ones that are affecting trends.
Yeah.
So, because Noizu wants to play a new song, so when Ill Provide comes out with Cloverdale and local singles, like, those are two pretty small acts in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
That song goes off at the club, and people are like, what the fuck is this?
Dude.
And Noisy's like, all right, that went good. Like, it's not, the tastemakers. Are they really the tastemakers? Yes, they're the tastemakers because they're the ones kind of, like, seeking out this, like, music.
They're the platform.
But, like, this music is coming from people like us, like,
Dude.
people that are really just kind of getting started.
You know where Cloverdale lives? Nova fucking Scotia.
Yeah, that's right, dude. And he's an incredible producer, and his shit gets played on the biggest stages in the world,
Local singers are the only house DJs in Boston, according to them.
Yeah, I believe it.
They might
believe it. And they're throwing crazy parties right now in, like, New York, man.
Yeah, they are.
Insane.
They're wild guys. It's so true, though, man.
Yeah.
Like, and somebody like Alesso, and Diplo is a great example, too, right? Like, Tiesto as well. They've all admitted, like, they've always loved house music, but when you get to a certain level, you have to play to the crowd. You get paid a lot of money to bring the energy.
Definitely.
Now, Alesso is releasing house and tech house. Diplo literally started Higher Ground to release house music. On My Mind is an incredible track.
Yeah.
Side piece, for those that don't know, is Nitty Gritty and Party Favor. And you know why they started that project?
They were sick of, like, their projects.
They love their projects, right?
Yeah.
But they wanted to make music that would last and would make an impact.
Yeah.
And they know just as well as anybody else, like, dubstep and trap, while great, has a cult following and stuff like that, too.
The shelf life is short.
On My Mind could be someone's wedding song in 5 years, bro.
Without a doubt.
I'd like it to be Maya, but that's going to be probably a no.
Dude, that song was special, too. I remember when it came out. I didn't even know who Side Piece was at the time.
Nobody did. That's the thing.
And
Nobody did.
And on Instagram, they had, like, 4,000 followers at the time. Like, we were in the car driving back from, like, New York, New Jersey or something. And we were like, how the fuck do you get a song with Diplo? Like, how do I do that?
Yeah.
But yeah, that song was such a hit at the time, and, like, I remember, like, we were watching videos of Diplo play it out at, like, festivals before it even came out.
Oh,
we were just like,
God,
dude, what
nuts.
is this? Like, what is this song?
Nuts.
And the rest is history for those boys for sure. But yeah, house music is pretty insane. How it just kind of goes through its things.
Look at lineups these days, bro. Look at that North Coast lineup.
Huge.
Art Music Festival coming to Chicago.
Dude,
house and techno.
A ton of overseas artists. Like, that's what's selling. That's what people want. It's insane.
That's what people want, and that's what, like, our generation now wants too.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of people like that. I think it's because, I mean, I could go in this conversation forever, but I love talking about it.
Yeah.
People like Chami and Mala, you know, like really bringing that bass energy, but always, you know, they're French as fuck, bro.
Yeah.
Like they love their
really
house
are.
and tech
Yeah,
house.
and
right?
they come from very OG underground
OG,
roots, like
sweaty underground.
Yeah.
And then you got somebody like
Spinning
DJ
vinyl,
Snake. I just saw DJ Snake at Radius. Unfortunately, Mala couldn't get across the fucking border.
Right,
I
I
was
saw
dying to
that.
see that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm gonna see DJ Snake tonight, whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, he
Smash it?
played some Detroit movement shit,
Dude, I love it. That's
and
awesome.
I was like, okay,
Yeah, those guys are real artists.
they're
DJs.
real artists.
Yeah, very
They
awesome.
want to play that shit so bad. Like
know.
DJ Snake's literally like, fuck, I gotta go back to back with
like-
Mala on a tour if I want to play this
It's
shit.
like, shit, I gotta play my hits, don't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually surprised too because we saw Mala at Prism back in the day. We were visiting Chicago for like
Yeah.
the weekend, and I was very surprised at how like tech house it was.
Oh yeah.
And how not I was expecting it to be just like huge, like big
Notorious,
crazy
yeah.
bass. Yeah, exactly. Or G house or whatever.
Right. Right.
But yeah, it was very very tech house and very like underground, and I was like, this is nice. I like this.
They paved the way.
Yeah, for sure.
Paved the way for people like us, man. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
So what can you tell us about what's coming soon, though? Anything?
Yeah, like I said, just kind of really pumping the brakes on quantity of releases.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to feel like I have to put music out to kind of like stay relevant and stay in the front of people's minds. Like I do, but I really want to like feel good about what I'm putting out into the world. And I think that's just kind of coming with like me developing and kind of maturing and growing up.
Yeah.
And kind of entering this next chapter of my life
Mm-hmm.
as, an artist. And I feel very, very good about it. And I got some very exciting things cooking.
Yeah.
And it's just...
Is this the announcement for the announcement?
This is the announcement of the announcement. Which is an important announcement.
It is,
you know?
absolutely.
So yeah, I'm just really looking forward to that. And yeah, it's going to be an awesome year.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Dude, we got Interstellar this weekend, though. When
Yeah.
this comes out, you're already going to perform, though. But
I know.
are you excited?
I'm really excited.
Fuck yeah, man.
Back in my college town, a bunch of old friends. It's gonna be great. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, Ranger, Freak On, Chase West all flying in. Like it's gonna be an awesome weekend. Tyler at West End's gonna be there.
That's a backstage vibe.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome.
Holy shit.
Are you coming with Max?
No, I can't go.
Word.
I wanted to, but I actually decided to take care of myself this weekend.
That's a
I
responsible
haven't
thing to
had a
do.
weekend off.
Dude.
It's not even a weekend off, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I'm still here. And
You're gonna be
there's-
working, yeah. Yeah,
not DJing for once.
Yeah, my birthday was last weekend, and that was the first weekend since I moved here that I like wasn't traveling, and I was just so excited to like just like relax. And then DJ Susan comes into town. He's like, bro, this guy, he's just hyping it all up, and it was the best. It was the best night. It was
Happy
awesome
belated,
to
man. I didn't
meet
even
them.
know that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was my 18th birthday.
Anytime you want to calm down, DJ Susan FaceTimes you, and I'm like, fuck.
I know. He's like, bro, let's go.
He invited me to like 75 things. What are you doing next weekend? What are you doing September 25th? What are you doing October 31st?
man.
I'm like, bro.
I got shit to do, man.
I'm booked. I'm booked, Susan. I can't.
Get the $48 Spirit flights out to San Diego.
You don't want to take the Spirit plane, bro.
I'm
You gotta
at-
do what you gotta do, though.
I'm at a point in my career where if it's cheap, I'm buying it.
You'll take back row middle seat in between
I've
a
been
lady
there.
with a baby.
Dude, I've been
and
there.
You've been there. Yeah.
I've been there.
There's no shame.
What really makes it suck is connections. If
Oh.
I can get a nonstop flight, I'll be good anywhere.
Totally.
Because the longest flight I'm gonna do is 4 hours.
Right.
For the most part.
Right.
And now that I'm out of Chicago, I can find a lot of.
Welcome to a slice of the good life,
Dude,
my man.
this is incredible. In Cincinnati, dude, are you kidding? I had to go to like Atlanta to go to Charlotte, and that's like a 40-minute flight from Atlanta. I'm like, dude, just like literally give me a parachute. I'll hop off the plane. One of those like bird suits, and I'll just fly in.
Yeah, I know.
Instead of going to Atlanta, which is a aggressively large airport.
We got 2 fucking airports in
I know.
Chicago. You're on Central Time too.
Yeah.
So you can only lose so much and
Gain some. It's the perfect middle. Perfect
It's the
middle
perfect
ground.
middle.
Yeah.
Welcome to Central Time, my friend.
Dude, I love it. It's great.
That is a big advantage of Chicago.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm a big Spirit guy, but one day
Said no one ever.
I'm I'm a big spirit guy because I'm broke. But one day I'll be
humble.
One day I'll be airline loyal.
Yeah.
And I'll have, Delta Sky Club.
Oh, you dog.
And I'll be like free upgrades just because like I have like gold
Hi,
status.
Mr. Musili.
Mr. Musili, welcome.
We actually have you in the cockpit today.
You're actually going to be flying the plane this evening.
That's how much of a valued member you are.
Yeah. So one day though, but till then, I have the Expedia app, and then I sort by just cheapest to most expensive, and it's like $48. Great,
Not bad.
I even got this super nice like backpack that also kind of acts as like my carry-on,
Yeah.
So I don't have to pay for the extra upgrade fees that Spirit wants to
Yeah.
screw you with.
That's the thing motherfuckers forget about.
Yeah, so I one backpack it. I'll literally pack everything in one bag, and then I'm there.
Wow.
Yeah.
God, you're already a legend.
Yeah.
I think so. That's pretty G of you.
Hey, I'm thrifty, man. Humble beginnings.
Humble beginnings.
Yeah.
Ohio.
Seriously.
Shout out Westerville.
Shout out Westerville. Shout out Powell, Ohio.
Shout out Powell, Ohio.
Which is a suburb of Columbus. That's where we grew up.
Okay.
A lot of white kids, and it's just a good place to be. Yeah.
Shout out to the Midwest. Shout out to Central Time. Shout out to Minimal Grooves.
Yeah.
Shout out to your hat. Definitely shout out to Jean Shorts.
So actually, holy shit, I forgot to talk about this.
Yeah?
My best friend Ranger Truco gave it to me. It was a
Dude!
gift. Yeah. So, company actually sent him a bunch of hats because he's like lit and he gets sent free shit now. 'Cause
Yeah.
He's like,
Blowing up.
He's the real fucking deal.
Yeah, he is.
And yeah, I was out there and he was like, "Do you want this hat?" And I said, "Dude, that would mean the world to me."
It's a pretty G hat.
And so yeah, I wear it every day now.
Wait, are you gonna be in town Sunday? Oh no, you're gonna be in Interstellar.
Yeah.
Going to the Space Yacht Boat Party.
Yeah. I'm missing that.
That's okay. You know what?
I'll get the next one for sure.
There's always more.
Yeah.
Man, this has been an absolute pleasure.
Dude, this has been super
You're
fun.
a fucking legend for real. I'm glad we
Thank
got to
you.
do this in person.
Thank you so much for having me. This is super
Official
fun.
welcome to Chicago once again.
You. Yeah,
you
we're
let me
here.
up. You hit me up if you need any hospitality.
Dude, of course.
This is Hotel Sherm, and I'm more than willing to show you around. We're not going to the Bean though, okay?
We're not going to Bean.
We're gonna go to O Block.
and then Broadway. And then Broadway.
Yeah, then
and then to the bar mitzvah.
Big night.
Best night ever.
Big night.
Yeah.
Wow.
Looking forward to it.
Unbelievable. This is Sherman the Booth. This was Podcasting 101. I'm here with MUUS. Thank you so much, brother.
Peace. Thank you, brother. That was fun. Smashed it, dude.
Man, do I love Sherman the Booth. Oh, hey, I think you do too. Hope you enjoyed that piece of content. If you're looking for more, make sure to go to my YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any upcoming Sherman the Booth interviews, live sets, new music, exclusive artist interviews, Sherm's Word, sub-pack reviews, and more. This is your one-stop shop for everything entertainment. Cheers.